Greetings, good morning, and welcome to Mind the Moment, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. These sessions, which take place every Tuesday and Thursday at this time, are an opportunity for us to practice together, to ask amazing mindfulness instructors about what mindfulness means to them, and most importantly, to hear from you regarding your own mindfulness journey. How's it been going? Where would you like it to go? And how can we help you to get there? I'm Jon Roberts, sitting in for your usual host, Suzanne Rowe Palacino, who is currently enjoying some much-deserved time off. It's September 21st, 2021, which is celebrated by magic fans as Escapology Day, in honor of the date in 1912 when Harry Houdini first performed his escape from a cage within a different water-filled cage. Other noted escape artists include Dorothy Dietrich, who escaped from a straitjacket while suspended above the ground by a burning rope. I would suggest, however, that the human mind may be the greatest escape artist of them all, given the startling efficiency with which our minds are apt to escape from the present moment, even when we're trying really hard to keep it there. This may be especially true in times of transition when we may wish to escape the changing circumstances around us, no matter how inevitable those circumstances may be. And so, can mindfulness help? As luck would have it, I know just the person to ask. She's a professional certified coach. She's the founder of Choice Coaching and Consulting. She's a certified mindfulness instructor through the International Mindfulness Teachers Association. She is, now and forever, Jackie Johnson. Good morning, Jackie. How are you today?
Good morning, Jon. I'm well, thanks. And it's great to see you after a long stretch.
Well, Jackie, did you know that the last time we did this together was December 8th, 2020? That was 9 whole months ago. Oh. Very happy that we're back together again.
Yeah.
Jackie, were you a fan of magic growing up, or was the magic of everyday life enough for you?
Yeah, I'd say the latter, Jon. Thanks. Yeah, maybe a little bit briefly, but a card trick here or there. But yeah, the magic of life is kind of where I'm hanging out now.
I would admit to spending a semester in college trying to master Ricky Jay's trick of throwing a playing card hard enough to pierce the rind of a watermelon from across the room, but that's all you'll get me to admit to. So, Jackie, I was wondering if you might have a question that we could use to bring the group into the conversation. And in service of that group, please do open up the chat box if you have not already done so. You can submit any questions or comments that come up at any time through the chat, and you can choose to send those questions either directly to me or Jackie, or you can share them with the whole group. Don't be shy. Mindfulness folk are known for their gentle, non-judgmental demeanors. Jackie, what question do you have for the group?
Yeah, so it seemed like I would love to center the question around today being the final day of summer. And so we're getting ready to transition to a new season. So I actually have two questions. I'd like to start with the question, what's your favorite season? And I'm just curious to see what pops up in the chat. So maybe you could grab some of those, Jon.
Oh, yes. Well, as they're coming in, Jackie, can I turn the question back to you?
Yeah. So usually, and it's fun to see the range popping up, but I'm a spring lover. And what I love to notice is I'm just curious if anybody has difficulty responding to this, but I'm seeing lots of responses popping up really quickly.
Yeah, there's a lot of summer and there's a lot of fall. I will say there's a few winter and not so many spring. Although, Jackie, I was born in the vernal equinox, and so I've always had a natural affinity for spring. It feels like it's that opportunity for us to begin again, and maybe even get it a little more right this time. But a lot of falls Fall is
Yeah, great. Well, so my second question is, what arises for you in relationship to the onset of fall? So in just, a word or a few words, it might be a thought, it might be an emotion, it might be something that you're aware of in the body when we think about tomorrow being the first day of fall. So what are you seeing, Jon?
Okay, somebody says it's the feeling of coziness and warmth, that scent of pumpkin and apple cider, the experience of slowing down, enjoying the more mild weather, getting back into routines that maybe got upset a little bit over the summer months. Somebody says time to get work done. Yes, like it or not. The some bittersweetness over the loss of summer as it passes, fear of the weather as it's getting colder,
Yeah.
the opportunity to restart, the sharpness and the vibrancy of the energy of fall. That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah. So, feel free to add more later if you like, but I selected those questions because as we sort of mark this moment of transition, what struck me in thinking about our time together today is that we all naturally have preferences. It was very easy for most of us to respond about favorite season, and we just so naturally like and don't like and want and don't want, even things that we have no control over, right? So tomorrow's fall, like it or not, and so noticing these tendencies gives us more agency to work with them. And so with that, if it's okay, I'll move us into practice, Jon.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, Jackie. Please, I feel very limbered up now. If you would do us the honor.
Yeah, great. So in our practice today, I want to invite you to use whatever anchor is easiest and most supportive for you. And what I'd like to maybe do as a bit of a subtle shift today is that once you identify the anchor that works for you, to really soften attention on that anchor and open the field of awareness to taking in more the sense of your relationship or your attitude to whatever is arising. So we'll practice for about 15 minutes, and I'll give some brief guidance at the beginning, offer some gentle reminders during the practice. And if it feels best for you to let my voice drop into the background, that's perfectly fine too. So let's start by finding a posture that works for you. And you might even take a moment to just check in with the body. If you've been sitting, see if there's any movement that would be helpful for you to really get settled. If you've been sitting too long and it works best to stand, that's perfectly fine as well. So just settle into the posture that will best support you for the next 15 minutes. And if it feels right, allowing the eyes to gently close. And it's perfectly fine to keep them open with a soft gaze as well. Maybe beginning with a couple of deeper than normal breaths. And if you're feeling unsettled or agitated or stressed this morning, you might lengthen the exhalation and really bring the focus to that long exhalation, softening into your posture and feeling supported by the seat, by the ground beneath you. And to the degree possible, inviting awareness to drop into the body, with the mind resting on the body. Noticing direct experience of breath, of tingling, of vibration. And you might start with a gentle focus on awareness of sound, including sounds outside, sounds in the room. Simply receiving whatever's here without going looking for anything. And now shifting the attention to settle into the natural rhythm of breath. Feeling the body receiving the in-breath and the out-breath without any real effort. And if it feels right for you, bringing the attention to the breath in a more focused way. And you might notice the breath at the nostrils, in the chest, in the belly. Or it might be that full sensation of the body breathing. And choosing whatever anchor best supports a gentle collectedness of attention. So it might be staying with the breath in that focused way or in a more open way. It might be going back to using sound to anchor the practice, or the sensation of hands or of feet in contact with the floor, hands resting on the thighs, really whatever supports that collectedness of attention for you. We're not looking to create any particular experience, simply resting and receiving and seeing if you can meet whatever arises and trusting that it belongs. And inevitably, the mind will get lost in a story or a daydream. And each time you notice that and the mind returns, How are you meeting that moment? Notice the attitude in the mind. Notice what's happening in the body, any sense of contraction or tightening. And if it's helpful, you can even label it in some gentle and soft way as a way to help reset and begin again, tightening. Or you might label softening. Noticing any sense of leaning forward, of wanting, and seeing if you can just settle back a bit. Each breath is an opportunity to begin again. And with each exhalation, we can soften and release. we get caught up because we care. So in these last couple of moments of practice, see what might invite in a bit more spaciousness, more openness, curiosity, and kindness. So as we bring the practice to a close, perhaps softly noting any qualities that you want to bring forward into the day. May we all be safe and well. May we be peaceful. May we live with ease, with joy, and with kindness. And may our practice be a benefit to all. And as you're ready, taking your time to bring some movement back in and very gently allow the eyes to open and to return to our group, even though you can't see them all, knowing that we're here supporting each other. Thanks for your practice.
Jackie, that was wonderful. And I want to ask you about something you said towards the end of your practice, which is we get caught up because we care. I'm wondering if you can say a few more words about what that phrase means to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jon. I actually heard that recently from a teacher, and I can't recall who it was to know who to attribute it to. But suffice it to say, it's not original, as with most insights that we have. And it really struck me as a way to perhaps bring more self-compassion, that most of the ways that we get caught up, whether in our practice or in our life, is with rumination about either things in the past. A teacher I had early on used to refer to the phenomenon as R&R, review and regret. Reviewing something in the past that we wish that we could change, or worrying about something we're imagining in the future. And so I've been kind of chewing on that idea that those things happen because we care. So maybe I'll leave it at that for everybody to, if that resonates for you, to just sort of play with that concept.
Well, I think it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful sort of reorientation of something that I fall victim to, which is thinking, oh, my mind is all over the place. It's because I'm not a good enough meditator, or because I'm not good at concentrating, or I'm not good at bringing mindful awareness to things. But not only is I'm hearing you say, those are of course just human conditions, but also is pointing towards perhaps an essential goodness, not an essential badness. And I think that's a nice reframing.
Yeah, thanks. The well-known meditation teacher, Joseph Goldstein, said that struggle is important feedback because it says that something's going on that we're not accepting. So I love that notion that, and acceptance doesn't mean that we don't in some ways respond, but fundamentally noticing that we're struggling or contracting or tensing up around something, that there is agency, and just acknowledging what is. And from there, fundamentally, we have the opportunity to work in some way to change the situation, to change our circumstances, Or if we can't change our circumstances, for example, that tomorrow is the first day of fall, like it or not, then the opportunity is to notice our relationship and to, in some way, change our relationship to what is.
Yeah, I think you're really kind of hitting on it right there. It's there is no experience or no moment that is too small or too random or too superficial or too ordinary or too sad or too wonderful or beautiful not to also be a moment for mindfulness. And I think that's
Yeah.
okay. So I think there's some appreciation, Jackie, for your thoughts, and that's wonderful. So I don't. I often have this problem of wanting to hold on to these moments of conversation, and I want to make sure that I'm cognizant of people's time this week, especially as they're perhaps transitioning to their next meeting or next domestic duty. And so, with some sense of bittersweetness, but also gratitude, I'm going to bring us here to our closing, but reminding everyone that we'll be back Thursday, September 23rd, when Tara Healy will be joining us. Tara, or Jackie, I should say, may I invite you to just say a few closing words if you have any final thoughts you'd like to leave us with?
Thanks, John. Well, I'm noticing a comment here from Kristen that says, yes, it made me think, oh, it's okay, I'm okay, and this is natural. Love this reframe. And so I would love to leave people with the idea of just playing with that. What's different when you can give yourself that kind of message that this is okay, this is natural, this is how it is.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jackie, for your guidance. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We do hope to see you on Thursday. And until then, please do have a momentous day.